Hello and welcome to another weekly Gamasutra video interview. Today I'm talking to the guys at DoubleDutch Games and TinyBuild Games about Speedrunners on the PC, so you can see them just below me there. The idea is that, as usual, we're going to sort of play the game while I'm talking to these guys about their game. Speedrunners is an online multiplayer game, so you'll be able to see what I am playing, and the people who I'm playing against is going to be them, essentially. So I guess while we're sort of setting it up, do you guys want to explain essentially what Speedrunners is and how you have come to work together?
Alright, well, Speedrunners is a 4-player competitive platformer,
Okay.
where the goal is to run around levels and outrun the opponent so much that they fall off the edge of the screen. And when you do that, you score a point when you're the last one standing, and if you score 3 points, then you win the game.
Excellent.
So, it's kind of like Mario Kart in the sense that it has all these items and power-ups that you can use, like rockets that you shoot at each other, or crates that you can drop. And the most interesting power-up that you have is a grappling hook that you can use to yank your opponents back, and maybe yank them into spikes or whatever, or make them fall off the edge of the screen. So that's basically the... Oh, I see you've joined.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just messing around while you're talking, trying to join the lobby. I think I've managed it. Yes, I have.
Yeah. Yeah, our connection is... Oh, it's looking all right. Yeah. I'm also going to add a bot here to the match.
Okay.
And then we'll start. Because obviously the best way to explain what the game is and how it works is just to see it running.
Yeah, that's very true.
We'll start just the first map.
Okay.
So you got these 4 characters, these superheroes. They're in a city where there's too many superheroes and not enough crime to solve. So what they do is they race against each other to get to the crimes first, and then it just ends up being a race between all these superheroes.
Okay, so for people watching, who are we each? I'm the orange guy.
I'm red. I'm black.
Excellent.
Yeah. And the pink unicorn guy is a bot. It's control.
Okay, great. I'm hoping it doesn't look too choppy for people watching.
It runs fine on our screen, but I'm obviously not sure how it runs in yours.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the things that I was hoping to kind of focus on and talk to you about today is building a community, essentially, because you guys, from what I can tell, are doing a fairly decent job of it. Obviously you've released the final game is not going to be multiplayer only, right? There's going to be sort of a little bit of single player stuff as well.
Well, we're not sure actually. The original Xbox version of this game, Speedrunner HD, did have a single player component, but it's basically just a time trial.
Yeah.
And I think that the most fun part of this game is the multiplayer, where you can play against other people and your friends. And that's just a lot more fun than a time trial version would be.
Yeah.
So we could add a single player time trial, but it would not be as fun as the rest of the game. So it's kind of like, well, I'd rather have a version of the game where you can just play against bots and still have a nice challenge and have the actual experience that you have in the multiplayer version.
Yeah. Because I mean, with like multiplayer only games, there's obviously what Dan Marshall from 5 Sides Games has called before the curse of the multiplayer indie game. You know, where a sort of multiplayer only indie game comes out and it's sort of popular at first, but then it very quickly sort of dies out and not many people are playing it, which then unfortunately leads to not many people buying it afterwards as well, because if there's nobody playing it, then they're not going to buy it. So you guys, I'm guessing, are doing quite a lot to try and combat this. The first thing is being on Steam Early Access. So how exactly are you using an alpha build to try and build up a community before the game's even out?
Yeah, we're using this alpha or beta build as a way of interacting with the community and seeing what kind of features they like and would like to see, and how the game plays, and if there's like things that need to be improved, or like shortcuts in levels that are too powerful or whatever.
Yeah.
So it gives us a lot of ways to interact with people and get their opinion on the game and make it better before like the actual final game comes out, and like hopefully a lot of people will start playing it.
Yeah.
It's like every week we've changed how wall jumping works, or how boosting works. We are using these Thursday events to just check if people like things or not. And it's like, it's a safe environment to just try a load of weird stuff in the game and not have people go too mad at you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask, so for people who don't know the game, every Thursday you're running sort of themed weeks, from what I can tell, with sort of changing the name of the game for a day and making it so that players essentially are getting a different experience. I mean, how exactly is that working out for you?
Oh, it's working out really, really nice. It's like the first time we did it, obviously there was not a lot of buzz around it, but
yeah. So the first one was speed hookers, which is all the items are replaced with grappling hooks, which means you can hook someone behind you, and then they'll hook you back, and then 3 other people will hook you because everyone's got grappling hooks.
Yeah.
What was the second one? Was it?
The second one was Super Speedrunners, I think.
No, the second one was Speed Rapture.
Oh, Speed Rapture.
The second one was Speed Rapture, which is missiles rain from the sky. So it, like, design-wise, it's really interesting that you have to stay under ceilings, which you don't have to in the normal game.
Yeah.
But so that like people randomly get hit by missiles all the time. That was Speed Rapture for the Thursday. Then we did Super Speedrunners, where everything was like 100. Was it 150% or 200% faster?
Yeah, it felt like 200%.
Yeah, everything was crazy faster. And so the thing about making everything a lot faster for a day was that on Friday, right after, everything felt way slower.
Yeah.
That's the problem with doing these like Thursday events, because everything's really fun and nuts for a day, and then it goes back to the regular game and you want it back in. And then the last thing was all the items are rockets, and every time you get a rocket you can shoot 3 rockets.
Oh, and we also did Stranger's Deeps, where the levels were mirrored.
Stranger Deeps is Speedrunners backwards. So all the levels were mirrored from left to right. I think the next one is Speedrunners, which is just a Halloween theme.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I mean, it seems like, from what I've seen, I can't really think, especially like in an alpha game, I can't think of anybody who's like sort of tried this sort of thing, you know, doing like theme. Like I've seen themed, but I've never seen like a weekly themed, you know. I mean, how long are you kind of planning to keep it up for?
Well, initially the goal was, because at first when we didn't have a lot of players yet, it was difficult for players to find opponents.
Yeah.
Like you have with the curse of the multiplayer indie game.
Yeah.
So then the Thursday events were designed for having the community congregate around like a certain date.
Yeah.
But now at the moment we have enough players, and what it also does, these events, is they allow us to experiment with different mechanics or different ways of playing the game. And like for instance, the speed hookers, where all the items were grappling hooks, gave like a lot of people insights on how to use the grappling hook and the various ways on using it and all the things that you can do with it.
Yeah, it's like schooling people on how to use grappling hooks for a day, because everything is grappling hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like for instance, the Speed Rapture, it adds a big random element to the game where you can get hit by rockets at any given time, and it just really makes the game feel a bit different. And that's, from a design standpoint, it's a lot of fun for us to do.
I just remember we had blast runners when we introduced it. So we had a new weapon and it wasn't out yet. So the Thursday event for that week was, I think, was it that weapon shows up all the time?
Yeah, no, not all the time, but a lot of the time.
Okay, yeah, so it was just that weapon shows up all the time, and it's a new weapon, which is exciting for people in the community, but really it's just for us to test this weapon a lot right before it goes out.
I mean, how sort of important do you think it is for you to, be trying to... Oh, there we go. He's a winner. He's a winner.
I wasn't even paying attention to how many points.
Oh yeah, excuses, yeah. Yeah, I mean, how important is it to sort of like focus on this community stuff? How much of your time is spent, you know, with community stuff compared to sort of actually like focusing on, I guess, development of the game?
I think we're still trying to find a balance in that, because like at the beginning, when the community was quite small, we could like be involved in the community a lot, and it wouldn't take us all that much time.
Yeah, it was like for the first couple of months, it was all making new levels, and then we started working on community stuff, and like it turned out, community stuff was taking up all of our time, and we couldn't catch up on introducing new levels or anything.
Yeah.
So it's been hard trying to find a balance where we can do interesting stuff like this, but we're such a small team that we have to actually also work on the game.
Yeah. And also, I really enjoy being involved in the community, like on the forums and seeing what people post and responding to it and have interaction with people. But that's just, at some point, it's taking up a lot of time, and that's so in the beginning I was very active, but that's cooling down a little bit now, and I'm trying to find a balance in being enough active to have good interaction with people, but not so active that it takes up all my time.
Yeah. I mean, do you, when you're coming up with sort of, you know, the new ideas and the new levels, how much of it is listening to the community, and how much of it is, you know, sort of just going off your own ideas and deciding for yourself?
Well, we actually, at some point, we asked the community, like, what they would like to see as a modifier, and there were some really interesting ideas in there.
Yeah.
And I think at this point we haven't really done anything with that yet.
I think it's mostly when we start ideas, it's all from within our team, and then once we actually do it and decide whether to keep it or not, that's all whether or not we can like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of... Oh, sorry, go on.
Like introducing new weapons or new mechanics, that's really cool to have feedback from the community on. And you can say, okay, we've introduced this new weapon, what do you think of it? And gauge the responses of people, and then add it or not add it into the real final game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And in terms of sort of what you're looking for the future of the game, are there any sort of community elements that you're looking at there? Like, I'm guessing, you know, as the game progresses, you'll be thinking of adding sort of, you know, online sort of leaderboards and things like that. I mean, is that sort of thing, are you planning to integrate that into the community stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Like one real concrete example of things that we added because the community requested it is the bots that we're playing against right now. It's something that we initially thought was going to be a lot of work and wouldn't add that much to the game. And then we got all these reactions from people saying, "Oh, we have difficulties finding opponents," or "Sometimes I don't really want to play against strangers. How about doing a single-player mode and or doing something like bots?" And then we started thinking about it more seriously, and then figured out, hey, it's actually not even that difficult to implement.
Yeah.
So that's something that we added. Also, we've been getting a lot of requests for a level editor. So we're really looking into how we can do that right now.
Yeah.
Because that's something that'll hopefully keep the game going for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, are you sort of looking at Steam Workshop for that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's like some other platforming games, they have level editors. But the fun part about this game is that if you can make a level and have the level editor be fairly easy, because it's a 2D platformer, then have levels that you can actually play against your friends, that's a lot of fun, and you don't see that in many other games, I think.
So I mean, in terms of if there are other studios and, you know, they've got like he's won again! He's won again!
I'm genuinely annoyed this is happening.
I really need to open.
I'm just, the only reason I've interviewed you is just to beat you over and over again.
Just practice before.
Yeah, sorry. So in terms of other studios who are, you know, sort of making multiplayer only games and are you know, sort of worried about this whole curse of the indie multiplayer game. What sort of advice do you think you would give to people about making sure it doesn't happen to their game?
Well, I'm not sure about how much advice we can give, because right now Speedrunners is doing quite well, but we haven't reached that point yet where I wasn't paying attention. We haven't reached that point yet where the buzz is cooling down and the game has been out for a long time, and the community slowly starts to fade out. So we haven't reached that point yet, and that would make it difficult for us to give advice. But yeah, I think what we're doing right now, being very involved in the community and having lots of interesting events and crazy things, and have people be part of the game development, I think that really helps.
Oh,
yeah, you did the same thing.
So, and I mean, creating, I feel like you guys having the Xbox version, the Xbox Live indie games version, sort of having that prototype and knowing that people enjoyed this game and knowing that, well, essentially it worked as a online, well, as a multiplayer game anyway. It seemed like that was a good way for you to start. I mean, if other studios are thinking of making, you know, kind of an online multiplayer game like this, would you tell them that it would be a good idea to essentially go with some kind of prototype just to make sure it works first?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, because like I think what's important with Speedrunners is that the game actually quite works, and we're getting a lot of really good reactions to the game, and I think that's mainly because the core game is really good at the moment, but it wasn't like that like 2 years ago when we released the Xbox version. I think the core game is way better now and way more fun now than it was 2 years ago. So it takes a lot of time to really perfect that, and I think having a version that you can play locally with your dev team or with actual people having playing it and giving feedback on it, I think that really helps.
Yeah. There's one gameplay element I wanted to ask you about, actually, because oh, there we go, lost.
Yeah.
With regards to the when you're playing, you know, there's there appears to be, so I can tell that there's this you know, the blur behind the characters occasionally. What exactly is it that's causing that? Is there a sort of optimal angle that you can jump at, or a way that you sort of approach jumps that is causing that to happen?
So yeah, the blur is just an indication of you are now going at a fast speed, or at a high velocity. Oh wow, high velocity there. And you can achieve that high velocity either by boosting or by using your momentum that you gain from a swing. Because when you swing from ceilings, you get a little bit of a speed boost, and then if you fall down a bit, you have all these, like, the gravity works on you, so you actually get a higher velocity. Yeah. And then if you hit the ground with that high velocity, you can retain that momentum, and yes, you can see the little boost.
Yeah, if you fall from really high up and then catch a swing, then the fall speed that you had will be converted into forward momentum, and then you can go crazy fast on swings. And then when you go crazy fast, then you get the growth back.
It's what? Knock yourself out.
Oh no.
You can not get hit by the grappling hooks if you slide under them.
Yeah, this is something I'm learning. Was that possible in the Xbox version?
I think so.
It's one thing that I've managed to master a lot of this game, but that's one thing I still can't do. I see the grappling hook coming for me, and I just completely forget to swing, to slide, to dodge it for some reason.
Yeah, there's little visual.
Yeah, so one of the ways when somebody asks me to describe this game, I don't know if this is a way that you guys describe it, but I find myself describing it as like a platforming version of Micro Machines. You know, in the sort of way that it's oh damn it, in the way that it's, you know, the whole pushing each other off the screen. But if you're ahead, then you can't really see where you're going, so you have to sort of rely on knowing the level already.
Yeah, it's like a 2D platforming version of Micro Machines would be the best description there is, I think.
Yeah.
We usually say Mario Kart because Mario Kart is more well known than Micro Machines, and it's kind of similar because it has all these weapons and.
I always think that as well. Like having the 3 boxes when you're at the front is a bit like having the green shells, just so you can sort of try to stop people from hitting you with rubbish.
Yeah, it's like all the items that you have. There are ways to counter them. For instance, the rocket or whatnot, they can be countered by dropping crates. You can counter the golden loop by sliding under it. So there's a counter for every.
This is the worst game.
I'm gonna make it over the top of here. It's gonna happen. No,
that's not supposed to, because
I think we've managed to break the game.
Yeah, there's definitely some, especially after some sections where the
the game has to detect who's in front, because there's multiple paths and they're all different shapes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, this is probably a good time to stop anyway. So yeah, thanks very much for talking to me. And the game's just available to buy through Steam Early Access, is that right?
Yeah, $10.
Yeah, so if anybody's been watching and you've thought this looks pretty decent, then you should check it out. It is extremely decent. It's probably my favourite game at the moment. So,
extremely decent.
Excellent. Right, well, thank you very much for talking to me anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers.